Peace. It's Nocturnal. Real quick, before we get started with the bench press video, a few things I did want to mention. Today, I went up to 315, 330. I went up to 330 on the bench. Uh, Matter of fact, watching myself, I did notice there were a few sets where I was favoring one side to where I had to correct my form. So that's one thing I did want to let you guys know. While you're working on your bench press, you might actually want to record yourself, and you might be able to pick up on a few of your own flaws that you're not paying attention to. No excuses. I'm not a type of person that makes excuses. But there were a few things that did kind of knock me off my square. My original plans got detoured. I'm in Illinois, and the first thing that threw me off was the weather. We were predicted to get 1 to 3 inches. Woke up in the morning, end up getting about 7 inches of snow. Don't even come over here, dude. Go sit down. Got 7 inches, and I'm not talking about that light, fluffy, dry snow. This was that heavy, wet, snow that was just automatically turning into ice. As a matter of fact, it was so heavy that it broke a belt on my snowblower, so I had to go old school and do it manually. That's one reason why I tell you guys, you got to start, working on your physical. You have to be in shape. It reminded me of John Henry versus, the steam machine. So at the end of that story, we all know what happened. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, matter of fact, who are not in shape have had heart attacks and strokes and have actually passed away from simple things, just as simple as shoveling snow from their driveway. So anyway, I woke up with the 7 inches of snow situation, and my daughter wanted to come outside and play. So while we were at it, we went ahead and put together a snowman that stood about 6 feet tall, and had to knock out the driveway twice, turned around, looked like I did nothing. So I said, okay, let me get to the gym and let me get going. Another thing that threw me off my square a little bit was the fact that this was my first video actually at the gym, and there's a lot of behind the scene things that have to happen in order to bring you guys these videos. That's why I give much respect to all my fitness YouTubers out there. It's not as easy as it looks. Those guys make it look easy, and it's my job now to make it look easy and present you guys with something that's motivational. So I'm coming with the reals. Like I said, there's no excuses. I just could have easily called my day off, said, you know what, it's snowing out here, got up on my soapbox, whatever the case may be. I could have even said, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a home exercise routine. But we scrap excuses, we take no prisoners, we go hard, and then we go home. So without any further ado, we're gonna get into this video. And one more thing I did want to mention, because I don't want to interrupt my video, but just to refer back to a point I made. Prime example, I was in the gym today and I seen these two young guys working out, and it just made me it reconfirmed why I'm doing what I'm doing. These two guys, you know what, they shouldn't even be working out unsupervised. They were old enough to be in the gym, but their IQ in the gym, their knowledge around weights, they probably beast mode down on the court because they were tall, lanky guys. But in the gym, it's amateur hour. And I watched this guy on the bench press. They weren't even strong enough really to put on the clips to keep the weights from falling off. But they had 235 plates on or 135 plate on each side. What is that? I don't know. It's been a while since I went that light. The bar is 35 plus 35 plus 35. Do the math. And the guy had his feet, didn't have his feet properly underneath him. He had his feet straight, and as soon as he unracked it, he started kicking his feet and shuffling his feet. And I watched him just go down for one rep, and this boy that was spotting him, just watching him with the bar coming down, stuck on his chest. He can't push it up. And after this guy tried to push this bar for, a couple of seconds where it wasn't going to move, then the dude behind him finally went ahead and grabbed the bar and racked it. I don't know what that was. I watched him go through a lot of different exercises that was just terrible. But, that's for another workout. The squats, some deadlifts they were trying to do, just everything they were doing was wrong. And it's so much information out here nowadays where there's no excuse for you to not have the etiquette and the information to go and exercise with a little bit more control, the proper technique. And we all can work on ourselves, like even myself included. I'm no exception to the rule. I can improve on myself. Like I said, I noticed that my bench press had a little bit of an airplane motion going to it, and I'm gonna correct that. So when I come back with my next video, please believe my focus and my concentration will be back on properly executing my bench press level with equal movement. And my goal, just to let you guys know, my goal is to get my bench back up to the 405 within the next six months to a year. So you will actually be able to see that progression. And the only way you can get from one goal, you have to visualize it first. You won't be able to if your goal is 225, if your goal is 315, if your goal is 405, or whether your goal be 500, without you mentally being able to lift that weight, then physically you will never be able to lift that weight. You have to already have it made up in your mind that whatever amount, that 225, that 315, that 405 is not going to intimidate you. So there's more to come from my mind to YouTube to let you guys know my thought process between this 315, 330 era that I'm at right now on my journey to get back up to my 405. And hopefully I can take you guys with me step by step, and you can actually see that weight increase. So anyways, I ate up enough time. This is already going to be a long video, but I thank you guys for tuning in. Bear with me as I, work on bringing more content and more content. To all of the night owls, to all the people back in the Bat Cave, to all the Nocturnal clan, I appreciate y'all for watching. Stay tuned. Nocturnal Thoughts. Together we stand, divided we fall. Peace out. Peace. YouTube, welcome to Nocturnal Thoughts. I'm your host, Nocturnal. Today I'm bringing you a fitness video, my rendition on your bench press. A few tips, my mentality around the bench press, and how to increase your strength or increase your overall approach to doing the bench press. First things first, you always want to warm up. So whether you go with bands or dumbbells or just a bar. Today, I'm going to warm up with just a bar, and I'm going to slowly progress from 135, and we're going to see if we can get up to 315 today. So my goal today is to get my 315, maybe 330. One of the most important things, I'm by myself today. So for the young guys out here that's trying to increase their bench press, something that's going to be very important is your training partner. You want to have somebody that's very in tune with the way you bench press, and somebody that actually knows how to give you a spot. The worst thing I see is young kids come to the gym together, two young kids, and neither one of those guys are knowing what they're trying to do on the bench press. The spotter doesn't know what he's doing, and the bench presser doesn't know what he's doing. So I see a lot of mistakes happening. Number one, a few quick tips. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of great information out there. Definitely check out Athlete X. Definitely check out Chris Jones, Pump Chasers. Jerome Fit has some good advice on your bench press increase. And Elliot, ask Elliot how to increase your bench press. Those are all good references. This is my rendition, and it's coming from Nocturnal. It's coming from my way, the way I think. First of all, most important thing is your form. A lot of people just have terrible form, and it all starts from your foundation. The main important thing about your bench press is where you get your strength from. Your counter strength is going to come from your foundation, which is going to come from your feet. Your feet have to be planted. It's like having a tree with no roots. If your roots are not planted, the tree is going to fall over. In this scenario, you have to have your feet planted underneath you so that you can press. The next biggest thing I see people doing is they bench with their elbows flared out. Your elbows need to be tucked under. Not tight to your body like you're doing a close grip, but your elbows should be tucked under. Your back should be arched up. Another thing I hate seeing people doing is this huge arch, to where all they're doing is moving the bar from here to here. If you want to develop your chest, you have to give yourself a longer range of motion. Your bench press is going to make, it's all going to depend on your genetics, your, if you're short, bulky, or if you're lanky with long arms. Most people you're going to see with impressive bench press numbers are going to be tight, compact built, shorter arms, big barrel chest, and they can put up big numbers. But for, thinner guys, taller guys with longer arms, you're going to have a wider grip, and there's different variations you can do to still build an impressive chest. The bottom line is you want to build an impressive chest. Some people want to have big numbers. Hopefully I can give you some tips to increase both the aesthetic and the impressive numbers, big numbers. So I'm going to show you some demonstrations on the bench press. Unfortunately, I won't be able to talk you through step by step. What I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate on the bench press, and then we'll come back and I'll explain my technique, and we'll work our way up to 315. All right, YouTube, stay tuned.
Little.
So we just finished doing a few warm-up reps with the bar. You want to get your joints, your elbows loosened up. One thing I thought of, some necessities that you might need, especially when you're going to be going heavy. You're going to need some wrist wraps. For me, I have small wrists, so I like to have some wrist support when I start getting heavier. When I'm warming up, I like to stay raw. But as I start to progress in weight, I want to accommodate the weight. So I put on wrist wraps first. I like to wear gloves when I bench press, here and there, it depends. But today I'm going to be wearing gloves. You want a belt, a good powerlifting belt. I don't have one right now. I have one that's provided to me by the gym I'm going to. It's a terrible belt, but it's going to get the job done today. Also, a lot of bench pressing is your foundation. So if you have any kind of injuries to your knees or anywhere in your leg, you want to have something to support that. So believe it or not, If you do have a knee injury, you want to have something that's protecting your knee while you're doing the bench press. It'll also help your bench press increase. Okay, next I'm going to go up and we're going to work with 135, 225, and I'll be back with you guys before I go up any heavier than that.
Ryan Little.
Japan.
Ryan Little.
Japan.